size of my boobs. What's going on? It's been a little while since I've done an Ask Meg, but I'm going to try and do a couple today, so hopefully I'll be a little bit better about getting them out on time. But this time I asked you guys to submit questions using the subreddit r/Meg Turney, and thank you to everyone who submitted questions. The upvote system helps me kind of figure out what questions you guys want answered, which is really nice. And if you want to submit a question for a future Ask Meg, you can go to reddit.com/r/Meg Turney and submit a question there. Okay, let's get started. Squall PL asks, what game most brings out your competitive side? I don't know, probably Super Puzzle Fighter. I just really like playing it, and it's one of those games where something could turn around like instantly, so I really like that and I get really competitive when I play that. Oh, and maybe like Mario Party. Arkykins asks, how do you deal with your sexuality? Bisexual like me, yay. Oh, yay. As well as not safe for work/sexual pictures of yourself being on the internet freely when it comes to work situations. While Rooster Teeth is a great company that is probably very accepting, I'm sure you've had to deal with your fair share of issues from both of these. My sexuality has never been a problem for me, and I'm very grateful for that because it absolutely shouldn't be. As for the photos, I've never done anything nude, and so they've never been an issue for me. The photos that I have taken, but what has been an issue in my career are the photos that people Photoshop together, the fake porn that people make of me. Even when it's poorly Photoshopped, it still affects my ability to get work. There are certain hosting jobs, like, you know, things that are family friendly that can say, you know, listen, we know that that's not you, but like we can't hire you because that's out there. So that sucks. Like, it sucks that something that you didn't even do could keep you from getting work, but it does happen and it sucks. Laffy asked, does anyone call you Megan? I saw the old Studio B vid and you introduced yourself as Meg Turney and wondered if anyone calls you by that or if you introduce yourself to people with Megan instead of Meg. No, I don't really introduce myself to anybody as Megan. Actually, the only time I hear Megan is when I'm in trouble with my mom, and even then she calls me Megan Leanne, so I never hear just Megan. I think I did use Megan on Studio B for a while because I didn't like the way Meg Turney flowed for a long time. It didn't really like sound right to me, but everybody calls me Meg, and I just, you know, I just felt like it was easier to continue on and say what everybody called me anyway, and I hate when people call me Megan, so I just kept Meg Turney, and I guess it finally stuck. Chaotic Ginger asks, was it ever your intention to do Me and My Place-esque things, or was that an opportunity you received because of cosplay? Actually, Me and My Place came about not from cosplay, but from my shoot with Keith Batista, who does It's Only a Body, and I've posted those photos before. They're like on my Facebook, and it was my first time doing any sort of modeling like that, and it was actually my friend Keith's first time to shoot any modeling like that. He really wanted to get into it, and I really wanted to get into it, and it seemed like a good opportunity to work together, and it was amazing, and that's actually where my first poster came from, was our first shoot together. And I tweeted out the photos, and someone tweeted back and said, hey, you know, this looks a lot like Me and My Place, and I responded and tagged at Me and My Place and said, that's actually what I was going for, I would love to shoot with them, and from that tweet, they contacted me and said, we'd love to shoot with you. So I have to say thank you to It's Only a Body Photography for shooting me in the first place and opening up the Me and My Place store. Box is Best asks, top 3 current TV shows. Bob's Burgers, Twin Peaks, and Friends. James Smite asks, as a guy, is it possible to text a girl too much? Should I always have to initiate the conversation to get it going? I don't think so. I do think some girls have that kind of like guys have to ask them out mentality when it comes to texting. My only tip is if they send you a photo and you don't respond right away, you in trouble, because girls don't send photos and expect silence. You better look at that shit. If it's a photo, I don't care if you're on fire. Oh, that's a nice photo. Just get that, like, write that in and be ready, because that is the #1 fuck up I see boys make, is girl sends you a photo, you better appreciate immediately. And also, yes, it is possible to text too much. A good rule of thumb is like 3 unresponded to text messages. Oh, give it a little time. A Zombie Riot asks, what do you think of the criticisms you get for being on the patch on a constant basis? Personally, I love you on there, and I love seeing your perspective when it comes to gaming. Of course, Ashley's too. I don't know, it kind of happens. People are always gonna be jerks. My thing is, a lot of people say, like, my voice is annoying, or if I do any other voice but this voice right here, I have to do this voice all the time. If I do anything else, that's really annoying. The thing is, a lot of people play characters. A lot of people at a lot of different YouTube channels and on TV and everywhere else, a lot of people play characters, and they play up certain parts of their personality, and they bring something, they have like this person they are when they're on camera, and I just am not that. I I am exactly what I am on camera. Pretty much when I get home. I still do, oh my god, it's so fancy. I do that all the time in my regular life. If you find it annoying, I don't care, it's me. That's kind of how I feel about all the hate that I get. It's just like, okay, well, it's not like when people say like, don't do this or don't do that. Okay, like if I were a character and I was like trying to hone my character, I would not do that or that, but it's me and I'm going to do that or this thing because that's who I am and people are gonna hate regardless. You know what, if I don't do the voice, somebody's gonna bitch about me not doing a voice. If I don't, you know, squeal or giggle or whatever, people are gonna bitch I don't do that. Like, at the end of the day, what I do, what I cover, how I write my stories, when I chime in on the patch, when I talk on the leaderboard or whatever I do in my videos or in the videos that I'm in is to make me happy. And I know that sounds selfish, but it has to be that way because at the end of the day, when I'm in bed, I have to deal with me. And like, I have to be proud of the things that I've done and I have to make myself happy with my work. If I'm constantly trying to bow to people who want me to do this or want me to do that or be this way or be that way, then I'm not being myself and that doesn't make me comfortable. So I'm gonna be me and people are gonna hate and it's gonna happen. It was pretty harsh of a transition to come from SourceFed fans who are generally pretty ridiculously sweet and the comments and YouTube videos on the SourceFed channel that I was used to, I guess because I'd been there a long time and people were used to me, they were all pretty positive. And then to go to the Rooster Teeth YouTube comments where they're getting better. It was a little bit of a rough transition, but I don't know. I mean, like, I'm happy with what I do at the end of the day, and I hope other people learn to like me. Does that sound weird? Bacon asks, does the attention get annoying having a relationship between two internet celebrities? You know, the hardest thing for me, honestly, is people who think they know better than we do what we're doing or how we're doing it or how we should feel about it. This really got me in the beginning of our relationship. When we first started dating, we were long distance, we're in a new relationship, we're both really excited about it, and then there's just a horde of people writing about how they think we're not compatible or how much they think Gavin hates this thing I do or how could Gavin date this person because she does this or that, and oh, I just know Gavin hates this thing. And it was very like, ew. It was very hard for me to look past. It just felt very personal and shitty. Like, there were just people who would like analyze why I was the worst girlfriend for Gavin and all of these things that I do that just prove he couldn't be happy. And it just sucked. I mean, think about being in a new relationship that you're excited about and it being long distance, so it's already kind of like a fragile balance that you have to maintain, and then to have people shitting on it constantly, which is what happened at the beginning of our relationship, it made things, I think, a little bit harder. Now I'm like, it's been a year, bitches, bring it on. But then it was very like, oh no. It was just frustrating. It wasn't like, oh, they might be right. That was never my worry. It was very frustrating because it was like, oh, you have it so wrong and I just want to tell you how wrong you are, but I can't because it's the internet and you don't care if you're wrong. That was very frustrating for me. Alright, final question, and I thought this one was really interesting. It got downvoted on the subreddit, but I do want to respond to it. It's Jack0 who asks, in your YouTube video, you said that your main goal for this year is to be a Maxim. Why? I find this baffling because it seemingly conflicts with other things you've said and your views on women in general, the treatment of women, and feminism. It seems like a strange goal, to have thousands of men stare at you in your underwear or less, however comfortable you are with your body. I mentioned that last line because I've heard you say that before, but many people are comfortable with their bodies and aren't exhibitionists. They have a second part of their question, which actually I'm going to answer in my next Ask Meg. So, Jack0, I will answer your second part, but let's talk about your first part. Okay, so the idea that I'm an exhibitionist because I like modeling my underwear doesn't really make sense to me. To me, exhibitionism is like sex in public and like flashing people. I don't do any of that. And I do think it matters that being comfortable with your body, that I am comfortable with my body, and I really like underwear modeling. It's really fun. It's something that I feel like I really enjoy. I love the way the photos come out, and it's something that motivates me in my fitness. Like, for me, it's just something I really like. Absolutely, if you're comfortable with your body, you do not have to pose in your underwear. You don't have to do anything. Just for me, one of the reasons that I like doing it is because I am comfortable in my skin, and it helps motivate me in a lot of avenues in my life, and I really enjoy it. The idea that it conflicts with feminism, not true. Feminism is just wanting equal rights and opportunities for women. It's not wanting women to be better. It's not wanting women to be this like weird asexual thing, or like women can't embrace their sexuality. I think actually a lovely part of feminism is the fact that you can embrace your sexuality and be a strong, independent woman who also is an underwear model, for instance. I do understand thinking it might be a little bit weird, I guess, but you know, I've modeled on the Chive before. I did modeling for Me and My Place for It's Only a Body. Just because I like that, having photos of me in my underwear on the internet, and I think it's cool, and I'm like, oh my god, that's me? I can't believe that's me. It doesn't mean I want men to disrespect me. I think that that is very important to point out. Like, I still demand you can still be respected and be in your underwear. Just because you're in your underwear doesn't mean that people get to disrespect you. And actually, I hear that argument a lot from women and not men, and it really upsets me, and I just want to be like, I can be in my underwear and you can still treat me like a human being. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is basically that I just want to do it, and I like being in my underwear. I don't know, I think I'm talking in circles. But why Maxim? I don't know, it's just a goal on my list. I've never been on Maxim's Hot 100. I would love to be on their Hot 100, and I would love to crack like top 50. That would be awesome someday in my life. When I get more on my fitness game, that would be awesome. But just to be on it would be really, really cool. It's just a goal I've had forever. Actually, I found my bucket list. I fully intend to make this a video, but I think it's right here. It totally is. Oh my gosh. Okay, I found my bucket list when I was moving. It was in my filing cabinet. I don't know why I filed it away. I'm not gonna show, like, I'm just gonna put it on my iPad because there's some embarrassing stuff on here. But one of them is to have sexy photos published in a magazine, and then further down the list is to model in Maxim or FHM. So it's just been on I literally wrote this bucket list when I was in college. Again, I'm just gonna fold it, somebody will screenshot it. I wrote this bucket list when I was in college, and I wanna do it. I don't know, is there any better reason than just like, I think it'd be fucking sweet to open a Maxim and be like, that's my butt. So, I think that's a good enough reason. Alright guys, I have rambled and ranted. I'm sure this is going to be a long video, but I will keep shooting today so that we can have Ask Megs on schedule, and I will see you guys next time. But before we do that, don't forget you can go to reddit.com/r/Meg Turney and submit your questions for next time. Okay, heart you!